Testing, testing, testing. Let me see if you guys can hear me now. Good morning. I know you couldn't hear me at the beginning, Eric, but everything should be fine. Got you. Perfect. All right. So basically, any move down would potentially be looked upon as a buying opportunity in a normal environment because you're above the 21 exponential on the daily and on the weekly time frame. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work, obviously, but that's what we'd be looking for on Bitcoin. As far as the S&P 500, we have a $40 expected move today. We have a $40 expected move. That's up or down on the SPY, S&P 500. All right, so we got the numbers. Let's go see what they are. Average hourly earnings, pretty much unchanged. Yeah, they were expecting 4.3, so it should be bullish. As far as non-farm payrolls, that should be a very bullish number for the dollar, whereas that number would be bullish for risk. This number is very bullish for the dollar. Anytime you beat, and then unemployment, where is the unemployment rate? 3.8. So that's not very. We got a mixed number. 3.8 could the market could suggest that as the jobs the unemployment rate's getting higher. We know that because there's strikes across Hollywood and strikes across the automakers. So let's see if this translates into a bullish push. Daily support is 27,428. 47,428. That's this number right here. If you get all the way down and take out yesterday's low, then I don't know if I would consider that bullish, given yesterday's price action and all. But coming into the hourly, you got support right there. Fantastic place to look for longs. Stop would be just under the wick low, just in case it comes back. Always look to buy hourly support, intraday support, daily support when you have a bullish move pre-market. Well, Bitcoin trades 24/7, so there is no such thing as pre or post-market, but the majority of the volume is going to come in there. So check out the S&P 500. Huge move to the downside. Taking out yesterday's lows. So if it's going to bounce now, I would assume it do it. Massive move to the downside. This is the expected range lows right here. The expected move lows. It's a very, 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 very aggressive sell-off here. But this could get faded on the open. We're going to see if we test the expected move to the downside. As long as that area holds, that's at 42.50. I would look for bullish entries there. Expected move high is all the way up here. This is old daily res. I will not buy it above the number. It has to come in at the number, all right? So let that come in at the number. These are the E-mini S&P futures, but it's the micros, not the E-minis, not the minis. But if we could get a push down to 42.49, that could be a spot to look for long entries. So let's keep Bitcoin up here. Support 27,491. Make sure you're managing your risk. You don't want to lose more than 1% of total equity. So for me, that would be $60. Down on the day, $2. That's probably from the Walmart trade. There is the entry. Since it's so volatile, we're only going to go in there with one if we can get a fill. We're only going to go in there with one. All right, set a stop loss 42.47 because this is really volatile and I don't feel like losing, a shitload of money this morning. So 42.47, sell to close, stop market 42.47. Yeah, and I mean that's a strong close too. Like I know it's a 5 minute candle, but damn, that is a very strong close. This is the expected range on the S&P 500. If I pull you up over here, you can check. It was $40 just a minute ago. Now it's saying it's $37, but it was $40, the expected move today. So essentially all you do is you go from your open, the daily open, move $40 down and $40 up. Excuse me, I have a cold. The fuck? What was that? Is Bitcoin getting any kind of bullish reaction at all at support? Not really. It's doing pretty much the same thing the S&P's doing. Pretty much the same thing. I do have a hedge on Bitcoin. It's not a normal size position short. It's just a hedge from up here, just in case Bitcoin wants to roll over in these turbulent times. But I believe we're going to get a bullish bounce. I mean, the bonds are at yearly support. The TLT, is at yearly support. That's the 10-year. Kind of hoping that it would catch a bounce there. And then all we're looking at here on Bitcoin is the hourly support. And then you got daily support just under you right there. 27,428 intraday or is daily support. And then 47,495 is intraday support. So what we would want to see now is we want to see it start to, trade away from that level. And then target would be high of day, which is right there. For me, a target would be $60, as that would be a 1% gain. Because it's so volatile, right? But since I got a stop loss on it, and today is non-farm payroll, we let it go. We take our one shot. You get one shot. If I could get Eminem to let me monetize his one shot 8 Mile song, we'd be playing that in the background right now. I am currently long. These are real funds. This is a real account. Yeah, I opened the account with $5,000. Currently up a little over 20%. So we are beating the S&P 500. But to be fair to the S&P 500, it's been trading all year. This account's only been open since July. So we'll have a real run at it next year. But technically speaking, one could stop trading right now and I would beat the S&P. And that's all you're trying to do as a trader. Beat the S&P 500. If you can beat the S&P 500 year over year, you are in the top 10, top 5% of traders. I would say the top 1% are those guys that clock in 100% per year. Not many of those guys out there, or gals, or he, hims, they, thems, she, hers. So not the bounce I anticipated, because like I said, the market could be taking this as very bearish. I don't know why. I mean, what's a 3.8% bump? We've been there before. It's like literally unchanged from last month, which could suggest that the job market's about to break. We know what the Fed has broken. The Fed has broken the TLT, the bond market, right? So you don't have to look too much further to know what the Fed has broken. I see the question on Twitter all the time. I wonder what the Fed's broken. I wonder what the Fed. We know what the Fed broke. They broke long duration. They broke the banks. They broke the TLT. But I would expect at least a midpoint bounce. I mean, you can't even give me that. What's wrong with you, spoos? Come on, you already made your move to the downside. Now it's time to make your move back to the upside. Might come back down, stop me out, and then go like it did yesterday. That was a fun trade. Remember yesterday we were expecting the S&P 500 to hit the bottom edge of the expected move for that day and then trade right back up into the bounce. That's exactly what it did. Word for word. That's what I said I expected to happen and be an inside day. That's exactly what happened. You can go back and look at it if you want, but here's yesterday. Did not take out previous day's high, did not take out yesterday or the previous day's low. Traded inside, came down, hit the expected move to the downside, traded all the way back up to the open. And that was your day on the spoos yesterday, all day long. Let's see if we're getting a bond market sell-off. Let's see if that's what's happening here. We'll use this one. Yes, we are. All right, so if I get another pop to the upside, I'm going to take profits because the bond market is busted. Huge move on the bonds. Huge move. We could go check the TLT, but it's just going to show us a gap down. Big gap down below that yearly support. I should have held that $87 put, man. Damn it. That thing would be up big now. That's why the market's selling off, guys. So we'll get up here to $60 where we currently are. Sell to close. See if we can get a little bit more of a push. 42.62.25. And we'll send it off. Because the bond market's selling off. And that could just trigger a ton of stops. Because everybody's expecting the bond market to break or to bounce from here. Right? When everybody expects one thing, I always look towards the opposite. Come on, give me a spike up to there. And we can call it a day. It'll be a 1% return on the account for the day. And then obviously we'll look to trade it later if it gives us a setup. Because this to me just on the daily time frame looks like it's going back down. Your dollar is up 0.4% on the day. I mean, there's your 2-day pullback. Where's oil? Because oil got creamed. It's getting creamed again today. I would expect a bounce at 80.31 because that's quarterly resistance. I actually expected a bounce at 2-week demand, but you can see yesterday made 2-week demand. It's biatch. It doesn't have to be all the way up there for $60. It could be right there. Very big move down. Let's get some news going here. See what they say. If they say anything. So the bond market's back down to lows. They can't really make this thing fit because it's such a monster candle. S&P 500 trying to push back down to those lows, low of day. I mean, nothing really changed. Let's go back to that real quick. Nothing changed really. I mean, nothing drastically changed. Non-farm payrolls was up 336K. That's bullish for the dollar. That's the big number I guess the market's focused on. Excuse me. Is those 336,000 jobs. We expect the unemployment rate to definitely move up a little bit based on the strikes. I mean, it was expected to come in lower at 3.7, so this is a miss. So this would be bearish or bullish actually for the dollar. Sorry, I was wrong on that. A higher than expected reading should be taken as negative. So yeah, a couple mixed things here. Average hourly earnings came in at same as last month. They were expected to go up 0.1%. They did not. And then year over year dropped to 4.2%. Not a whole lot changed. It's just the bond market's getting killed. That's what's breaking the S&P 500 right now. And since Bitcoin trades with risk, you're getting the same move on Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is still bullish on the day. So I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get a bullish bounce from this or not. It might run lower all the way up until the open.
So folks, just want to point out the long end of the Treasury curve now flirting with this 5% mark again. We're just straddling that for 30-year yields at the moment. Remember earlier in the week there was some interest above this 5% region, so we're keeping a close eye in the long end of the curve over here. But the reaction just continues in the hawkish direction now. So the short end up around about 10 bips now for the 2-year yield. That's 5.12. As we mentioned, 30 is just around the 5% mark at the moment. My colleague also just highlighting in the T-note futures itself, we're keeping an eye to the downside on 106.03.5. That's the Wednesday low as well as the cyclical low for the T-note future. So a few key levels in play over here, but it is a continuation of the hawkish reaction. And as my colleague mentioned, just in wake of the data, the first fully priced Fed cut now seen in September. There is still quite a high probability that we will get that cut by July, but it's not fully priced in after that data. More ECB speak, this time from the ECB Basel. It's a soft landing right now. It is possible to get inflation back to target without a recession.
Bullshit. You guys are already in a recession. In my opinion. Getting ready to take out that high, I mean, that's big on a 30-year. I mean, you're flirting with, I don't even know how old, how long it's been. Slow internet today. Stream not really being affected too bad. It is buffering on my end a little bit. Apologies if it's buffering on your end as well. As you can see, I mean, you're looking at 07 levels literally, like on the 10-year, 20-year. Up almost 3% on the 10-year. Stopped out. All right, so we'll go ahead and close this. Because we don't want to get filled on a sell up there. We didn't need a full stop, so taking another position is absolutely on the table. Like I said, this is the bottom edge of the expected range for today. Now, the bottom edge of the expected range does not mean that it can't go lower. Obviously, it can breach that and keep going. Like, you can get a $60, $70 move out of this today. So be very careful. What's up, Mr. Sloth Bag? Good morning, everybody else. We're just giving it time to play around this little area here. I do expect buyers would pick it up, especially those that are thinking that the bonds or that this is going to be the high on the 10-year and on the 30-year. But like I said, usually it goes the other way. I mean, you're already stopping everybody out. That's, long the bonds. They're going to wake up to
Once again, just returning back to the post NFP reaction, the dollar index trades last at 106.95. So once again, just eyeing this psychological 107 region to the upside. There is a fib at 107.17 that is of interest to technicians. So dollar yen just having a look rather at 7 once again, following that data.
Aussie dollar getting crushed, which is good because I'm in a short position up there. I'm short pound dollar as well. Roughly around this white line here. We got a long USD CHF position on, tagged yearly opening range, pulled back for a couple days. So yeah, I mean, we're sitting good on across the FX in the FX world. Also, I mean, with the Bitcoin hedge that I got on, I'm sitting pretty on Bitcoin as well. If it does continue to drop, the only thing I have a bearish position on Walmart right now, and that's literally the only thing I'm holding inside of the options account. I've been looking and looking and looking for trades, but everything that I want to trade is either already made its move or is currently still making the move. So I need a pullback. I was looking to buy oil, but oil is just too volatile. Probably could have bought it there. Probably should have been the play for today. for a bounce on oil. But the problem with it is I literally would have been a buyer there as per my strategy. And you can see that you got a 1 day bounce, traded right to the midpoint of the previous day's candle and dumped. So, and it was a big dump. So I would assume a lot of people had the same notion as I did, get long oil. The next 50 on the RSI test, it did not work. I did not get long. I did not get long because this day right here would have needed to at least take out the previous day's high. And then I would have looked to get long on this day right there on a retest of support. If it did, like obviously, if it happened, right? But this is a lot of momentum. I mean, you went from overbought to oversold in the span of 4 or 5 days. It's crazy. It's actually, this move to the downside is more momentous than any of these moves to the upside. And I can show you that simply by going to the hourly. Get rid of the lines. If this will work. That you can consider this something kind of like a Bollinger Band, but it's just it's called something else, and it's the bands are wider. But this is on the hourly. That down in here is that monthly support, and then here was your outbreak or your breakout, whatever you want to call it, of oil to the upside. Notice how the upside move was maintained within those bands, except for right here. Right here was the first time that you breached the top side of the bands. You breached the bottom side of the band there. And you've just been selling off ever since. I mean, your entire daily move on oil is this right here, from here to here. We'll watch it, but I don't know if I can short it down here. But there's your open. You gapped up, traded down, made this big candle in the middle of the night. That's going to be your London session open. And then here for non-farm, spike to the downside. Pretty vicious. And now up she goes. Yeah, pretty volatile. Oil is nasty right now. It's a difficult trade. The S&P 500 does look like it is struggling to go down. 42.42 would be too wide of a stop. You're looking at a 7-handle move. 7-handle move. That's too wide for me. So we'll see what happens. See if it can come down. Internet is being crazy.
CEO says the group is in talks with leasing companies to reduce the monthly cost of electric car leasing. It's for ENELIM. Seeing a few negative ticks.
Nice short on pound. Yeah, I've been sitting in it for a while. The Aussie short's also doing good. Been buying oil calls today for a short move, for short moves. Profit. Hey, good job, because I mean, if you bought them at the lows, good job. Not exactly sure where you are in the world, but here in America, we can't trade. We can trade oil futures, options on the futures contracts 24 hours a day, but we can't trade any oil ETFs or anything like that. Options on those until the open. We had the same game plan yesterday, and it didn't translate to making any money. That's the important thing in trading. I mean, having a pretty decent idea of what the market does and how it reacts around specific areas does not mean you can translate that into
And folks, just point out some of the headlines over here, just noting that
positive
cash treasury
P&L.
yields have climbed to the highest since 2007 at 4.887% for the 10-year. Again, for the future itself, haven't quite managed to get to that low that we saw earlier in the week, 106.03.5. So my colleagues suggest that it could be a cash-led move that we're seeing over here in the Treasury complex. A bit of global metals-related news here. The Codelco chairperson says the company does not plan to reassess mine project costs despite the cost overruns at the El Teniente facility. Chairman also says copper output will recover in 2024 on a ramp up at the Chuquicamata, as well as less disruptions. He adds that China remains an important market with between 40 and 45% share of sales, and expects to reach an agreement with lithium miner SQM by the end of this year. And Codelco also says that 2024 capex set to be around $4 billion. That's in dollars, and that will be similar versus 2023 levels. A bit more from the ECB's Vassler. He says agreement on new fiscal rules does not appear to be very close. It could create tensions. So as my colleagues have been talking about over the course of the European morning, today's New York cut is very busy with quite a few very lumpy option expiries. Probably a bit too much to go over the squawk, but we have reposted our note. And if that's something you're interested in, please have a look at towards the top of the New Squawk newsfeed. It's been posted at 2 p.m. London time. Myriad of mega FX option expiries at today's New York cut.
Whatever you say, British dude. We believe you. I don't see it. Oh, they're all right there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing left to do here. I would like to get in this long again, try one more time. I mean, it just looks weak. That's all there is to it. But 42, 49, 50 is the level that I would like to get in long. It's just I'm not going to eat a 7-handle stop. But ultimately, I think more than likely, as soon as if price bounces back to the VWAP, which is this dotted purple dots right there, that's the VWAP. You could get a bounce all the way back up to there, then you could potentially look for selling opportunities. My internet's just bouncing all over the place. I apologize for that. Same for the S&P 500. You get a bounce back out to the VWAP. More than likely, people are going to be looking to sell into that. Dollar starting to pull back after
A bit more for Enel. CEO says group will be
almost
presenting
hitting
business plan 20th of
107.
November.
107. What's the high there? 106.97. We hit 107 the other day. It's like not really a huge deal. Coming into a selling opportunity on the dollar. If you're I mean, if you're bearish, if you think there's going to be a deeper correction, you got supply sitting roughly at 107 spot 06. 006. Oh, if you round that up, it'd be 107 spot 01. The low of that candle comes in at 106.912. But keep in mind, this is a bullish trend, and you do have a bullish engulfing candle currently on the day. You took out yesterday's low and high. That is a bullish engulf. That doesn't mean it will be a bullish engulfing. It could roll over and trade down and close as a bearish engulfing. We'll see how the markets react around the open, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, this can't get anything going to the upside. So maybe the best thing to do here would just be wait for a momentum pop. But I hate buying fresh 5-minute highs, especially on the S&P 500. Not much changed on the news, but they obviously use the news to sell. And it looks really bad. I mean, you're breaking down below support, daily support on this thing right here, which is a CFD. The SPX 500 USD. It's a CFD on Oanda. Just gives people an opportunity to be able to trade the S&P 500 without trading heavily with massive size. Because I mean, each contract on the E-minis is like $5,000. I can't short it here. The only way I can short it is if we find resistance up at the VWAP or the 21 exponential intraday. This is your bonds. So if the bonds bounce, the SPOs should bounce, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will. So maybe if we get a pullback back to 42.49.75, I'll look for another long entry. See, if I'd have bought that high, I'd be in the red right now. So you just got to be real careful about doing that. But it's also, that's momentum trading. $42.57.50. Many handles is this? 42.53. That's 5 handles. Yeah, that's just tragic. Stop me out and then goes up and hits my target. Lovely. Just another typical day trading the futes with the fute ledges. You're in Greece. Nice. Beautiful place. I'd love to visit once. But everything I've seen from Greece on TV looks absolutely stunning. Even the countryside of Greece is beautiful. But around the ocean especially, marvelous. Beautiful green waters. Crystal clear. Nice bounce from monthly support. Bitcoin so far. That definitely is the level that we had of interest. Bitcoin is bearish, though, on the day now. It was just bullish, so be very careful. It closed on the lows on the hourly.
Just
Where
go back to
is...
comments here
Oh,
from ECB's Not, who does just note Europe's fiscal stance is out of line with the economy and the government's not being helpful in stabilising the euro economy.
we'll look to buy it 450, 42.54.
Good morning to US Treasury joining us. The daily News Corp UST Open
No,
News
you
is now available on
bastard.
the headline feed and the research suite.
I'm going to have to sit in some
And go back
pain
to remarks
now
here from
because
ECB's
it
Not,
did
who does
not
note
fill me
Italian
where I
spreads have
wanted it to
increased
be
recently
filled.
due
Could you
to
please
budget issues.
hush when I'm speaking? You seen me set that at 42.54, right? Then why did it fill me at 42.56? Obviously, I won't complain if we get a nice, big, strong breakout bullish candle, but definitely not the ideal place to be a buyer. $42.58. There we go. 42.59, 42.60 is where my original take profit was. Uh, let's set my
And just
stop
on the
loss
geopolitical footing
at
here, via
entry.
Russian press, RIA, Russian Defense Ministry says Russia scrambled a G-31 jet to escort US recon plane over the
42.55.
Norwegian Sea. And again, that is via Russian outlets, RIA.
Not the best entry in the world. I give you that. My other entry was better. But naturally, this candle came down and
And
stopped
just
me
seeing the
out.
latest Mannheim wholesale used vehicle
This
prices
was where
index, it
my
did
target
increase
was,
1% in
so
September, meaning year over year it is down 3.9%. That is the monthly Mannheim wholesale used vehicle sales index.
trying to keep it on the level here. See if, because I don't want that VWAP to creep down on me. So we'll probably trade up to there, spike up to do that. It could be a choppy sideways day as well. I mean, there's always that factor too. But if it's going to be a downtrend day, if we're going to break down below this support here, it has held down in the left-hand corner of the screen right now. You can see this candle. The close of that candle is support. We were looking to buy the, the expected range of the day. So any pop up is going to be met with sellers because they see a candle like that and they instantly sell. So that way, if it is going to be a downtrending day, if you end up closing somewhere down in here, a sell at 42.70 would make for an opportunistic place to do that.
More from ECB's not says the unemployment cost of disinflation is benign compared to prior policy tightening cycles.
Getting close. So we'll go ahead and scalp these handles off real quick. We'll take that off. It's just not even half. It's a little bit close to half of what I would usually try to get. But we'll see if this is moving up towards the open. We got 15 minutes left on the open. Now, this could have been a buy and hold because, like I said, you're into your expected move range low on the day and you're at daily support as well. But I assume sellers will try their hand at 47 or 42.72. 42.72, that would be the midpoint of that big breakdown candle as well. So we'll look to take a sell there. Now, if we get a big, strong, bullish momentum move through the VWAP, we're not going to look to be a seller. And if we close bullish on the day, we'll probably sell some put options or buy some call options on the SPY. "15 minutes until the open." Let's go look at tech pre-market. Let's see what it's doing. Yeah, Bitcoin did get a nice big bounce from the monthly support, traded right back up to daily support. There's your daily support. Yesterday's candle actually breached and closed below daily support. But there was a couple members in the Discord that bought Bitcoin today. I made sure and told them to take profits up here and set their stops to break even. They did, and they're probably stopped out of that trade. However, that was a pretty decent move on Bitcoin. Pretty decent move. All right, so let's go look at the Magnificent Seven. Go away. Apple gapping down to yesterday's open. Amazon gapping down below yesterday's low. Ouch. Goog gapping down as well. So good on you, Brian. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's good on you. Brian is basically buying puts every $1.40 move up on Google. And he has a 140 stop loss. So Brian is looking for this right here. And then he's got multiple targets down in here. Which will happen if the bond market continues to sell off. Meta finally getting a small gap down. But I've tried to short this many times in this range to no avail. No avail. Microsoft gapping down. Nvidia. Netflix. Tesla. all big tech gapping down this morning. Tesla gapping down to a demand zone. 258.08. No, 251.60. 251.60 would be daily demand. You also have your moving averages coming in there for cover as well. So you're literally gapping down to the 21 exponential. This could be a bull trap. Only time will tell. But if you are bullish on Tesla, you might want to pick up some calls on the open. Just be careful because it moves quick. These calls move quick too. It can be
More
up
from
or
ECB's
down
not,
50,
as he would
60
prefer
bucks
tolerance
within a
band around
split
target
second.
rather than a strict point target for inflation.
I think we can kill the news. Yes, I'm sure. So yeah, I mean, this would actually look pretty good for a buy if the bonds have indeed hit their mark. Looking at the ZB, let's check out the ZN, the 10-year. What is that noise? So yeah, big move to the downside. But it is at, like I said, the 10-year, it is at a support, a big support. It's yearly support. But you're gapping, pretty much well under that. So if we go to the 12-month, you can see that candle's close. But that's what the Fed broke right there. So I guess we could probably get rid of all of these lines and just put one on there. That one. Or we could use quarterly res right there. Boom. So be careful about buying calls. It's just now, the quarter just started with this month, so. And then ultimately, let's go look at where Walmart is on the day. A nice gap down on it would be fabulous. It's not gapping down as far as I would like to see it gapping down. Being in a short position, we have a short put spread on Walmart. Looking at this as an accumulation formation or Wyckoff accumulation, whatever you want to call it. It's what it is. 3 drive topping formation. As this was your all-time high over here. But generally, when you see that, I mean, what's going on there is people are selling. And when you see big reactions like this, literally retail lifts it back up. And then people sell again. And then retail lifts it back up. And people sell again. And usually that third drive's the last drive in a distribution formation. But I had to wait for it to get back under the 21 before I could get bearish on it. And we set the bearish trade up on that bullish day. or on this day while it was pushing up, which was Tuesday, I think, as it pushed up to resistance there. So we would love to see Walmart trading down in the 150, as that would bring maximum profitability to that trade. We are tagging the VWAP right now as we speak. Remember, if we get a big bullish momentum candle through it, then I'll obviously wish I would have held on to the trade. But it is what it is. We'll buy calls. We'll take it as this was the last push of support. And next week we'll look for, a couple bullish days. Because we've been very bearish for multiple days on this asset. So, I mean, typically the S&P 500 doesn't trade in one direction like that. It's been, choppy down here, but we've been bearish on it for a while. If we get down below this 21 on a weekly, that's when we start looking for bearish positions but we always keep in mind that anything that transpires under here for at least 3 weeks could be a trap. Being this far under the close of that candle, I would say it's probably not going to be a trap. It doesn't mean that I'll be right, but I will be looking to sell at weekly support at 43.68, or I'll sell calls at 47, collect a premium on that. All right, so now we're getting a bearish reaction, but we want to make sure that the bears are on board with this move. So we got 3 minutes until the open. Any yelling for Mr. Pepe today? Not yet, which is weird because it's 9:30. I definitely would have figured he would be in the house complaining, wanting to be fed. He is a little brat. But also with the new mic and the setup that I got, you probably wouldn't even be able to hear him anyways. The old mic would literally pick up everything that happened. Like, my girl could be in the kitchen washing dishes and you guys could hear it. Or you could hear the toilet flush. So I got rid of that and bought this one. And this one is a good one. It's the Electro Voice RE20. It's really good about, not picking up background noises. All right, so if we get an engulf here, I will look for a pullback to 42.72.50 and set a sell order, looking for a trend down day. Looking for that ultimate support to be busted. We can go ahead and set a limit sell at 42.72. And hopefully it won't fill me until there. Perfect. That's what I did on that long, but for some reason it filled me at the ask. Like, literally at the ask, even though I was not wanting to be filled on the ask. So if we get a push back up to 42.72.50, I can't set a stop loss yet on this platform. This platform is not the best platform for trading futures. Typically, you want a platform with a DOM, like Trade-Evate or something like that has a DOM. So that way you set your DOM up and you can just, with as simple as 1 or 2 clicks, you're in there. Let's go. Looks like a very small move, but trust me, it's not. I mean, if you can get 5, 10 handles on the S&P 500, you're doing good. We'll bring it right there. Just maybe get filled on the spread. And if it pushes higher, we're definitely going to get out of the position. I don't want to take the sell down here. I want it up here because if it pushes on up, we can get out of it. As we're currently trading at the VWAP, you can see you're getting a really big momentum candle on the NASDAQ. So I'm going to probably close that order. Let's go ahead and just give it a minute. I don't trust that right there. That big, huge candle there. Because that means tech opened strong. But you can see how it is fighting that. But a close back under it would be good. It would be fantastic, actually. And a lot of buying, a lot of bids in this indicator here. Not much selling going on in that green candle. So when I see a volume bar grow like this, I would love to see the red actually grow with it. As that would indicate that you have more selling actually happening in the candle than buying. That's how this works, or is supposed to work. So you can see all these volume by time bars down here. Most of them, the majority of them, are green. There's more green inside of them than red. And that means, yeah, people are buying the lows. And why wouldn't you? I mean, it's at daily support. And the jobs number wasn't that bad. See, that's what I didn't want right there. See how it blasted through? Now, it doesn't mean it's going to stay blasting through. You could close a candle above that and then puke. But that's if it's going to go down. We'll see. The dollar has pulled back almost to the midpoint of this big candle. 106.57-ish. That's where we'd be looking for it to hold as support if the dollar is going to continue higher. Bonds on the open, nice move lower. So this could just mean tech is opening strong. The news feed is coming from this Thinkorswim platform. If you see up here, top right hand corner where it says chat rooms, if you have the Thinkorswim platform, right there, you just click on that and it brings up this window, and I just Global news is what I use. But they do global news, so it's not just going to be US stuff. Anything that's happening worldwide, they'll let you know, and they stay on all trading day, but they're not constantly speaking. There could be, an hour and a half, 2 hours go before you hear a word from them. If there is no news, then they don't talk. But that's where I typically would listen to them on big news event days. I definitely want to try to get in here on a sell now, as the bonds are going right back down. So I would expect this to do it as well. We'll see if we can get filled back at our original entry of 42.7250. Going the wrong way, dude. All right. Let's see if we can get a fill, and then obviously I'll be looking to get stopped at 42.76. It's a four-handle move. Bitcoin making a move up. Let me put Bitcoin on the monitor. Yeah, Bitcoin is completely engulfed almost that bearish candle. Traded right up to supply. Right there. So for you sellers, that's where you'd be looking to sell. And then obviously any close above this candle would be vacate the selling. That's where you would definitely stop selling. Hourly closes higher typically mean that you're going to see bullish continuation. As long as the bonds are selling off, I feel pretty strongly about the short. If bonds find support and then get above this, which it's like a Bollinger Band, but not quite. It's something just a little bit different. It's called an ESD band. Then, people might bid them up. But as of right now, they are getting hammered. And there goes the S&P without me. Walmart moving lower. So we have hit our profit objective on the day. Great. Thank you. You're welcome, Mr. Run Mountains. It's my pleasure, bro. They used to have a Benzinga squawk, but I guess once Thinkorswim sold out to Charles Schwab, Mr. Schwab said, "No, I'm not paying Benzinga on a free platform," because Benzinga is a fairly expensive news service. But I mean, it's a squawk, right? It's a news squawk. It just matters who's quicker on the news, right? So you don't have Benzinga anymore, but you got the global news. The global news is good. From what I can tell, they're just as quick as Benzinga was. And it's free, right? A lot of these tools nowadays that used to cost hundreds of dollars a month are free for traders. And they want to make it accessible to everybody. But I am net short, or not, I'm net long Bitcoin as far as with, how much Bitcoin I hold. but I do have a short position on Bitcoin. As I said earlier in the stream, we sold on that big move up the other day. It's unlikely that I'm going to get filled up here, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this limit order. And we'll just look for another trade somewhere. So let's go look. All right. Yeah. So that's demand. I mean, supply. That's Bitcoin literally is a very volatile asset. That's why we love trading it first and foremost for the volatility, because you need movement in order to make money. Bitcoin does like to trade sideways a lot, but when it does move, man, it moves. But we got short right up there in the quarterly supply. Stops at break even, but it's just, I did not take profits on this move lower because it's a hedge. At one point, depending on how low Bitcoin gets, it will come into parity with the amount of Bitcoin I own. And once that happens, then I will not lose any more Bitcoin, if that makes sense, or lose the value of the Bitcoin that I hold in cold storage. It's a neutral position, essentially. But this is monthly support. This is a big level down here and needs to hold if Bitcoin is going to resume with that move to the upside. So I know there's a lot of noise in here, but right there is that monthly support. So Bitcoin needs to close above that. And as somebody said in the stream or in the chat, we did tag that this morning. That's where you got the big bounce. See? Traded right down to it and then bounced from it. So a lot of buying setting there. Will the sellers exceed the buyers? I don't know. I mean, it's bullish on the day. You're still up on the day, so you got to be real careful about that. You want to sell stuff that's bearish, right? This stuff in here. That's what you want to do. But I can't short this here. If I can get a move back up there, I will take a shot at it, but we'll see, right? Because this is as low as I expect price to go. There's daily support down here, and this is the expected range low. And the expected move today was $40 up or $40 down. That's a big move. So technically, the SPOOs can go from this line all the way up to this line today. All right. So I'll be watching it closely. If it breaks out back above the VWAP, and any pullback into the VWAP from the top side, yes, I would be a buyer, because like I said, that's the expected range high. So if we're going to get bullish continuation, if this was a buying opportunity, then I would expect it to trade up to 43.30, 43.29.75. But if it's going to be a trend day, it can definitely break below the expected move. So don't, when you gather the best way to get your expected move is to come over here on Thinkorswim, pull up the SPX, and go to the day you're on. Today is October the 6th, Friday, October the 6th. You can see here that it's changed. But pre-market, before the news, the volatility was pricing in a $40 expected move. Right now it's pricing in a $30 expected move. but that's because the news has already came and gone. So volatility has went down. When volatility goes down, your expected range goes down with it. But I set that every single day when I'm scalping futures. On a normal day where there is no news, you'll hit good trades sometimes. Really nice, profitable trades. Let's go take a look at Walmart, and we'll look at everything else as Bitcoin looks like it may be going right back up. Pull up the charts. Yeah, see how the bonds are going right back up? They had a couple first 15 minutes of the open. This is your open right here. You have a little move to the downside and then up. So we're not gonna take a chance on shorting this. Not as long as the bonds are on the move up. Because like I said, they have been very correlated as of late. The bonds with the SPOOs or the S&P 500. You can see the NASDAQ is literally pushing right back up to beyond the midpoint of this candle. So they are buying. But we don't chase price ever. We wait for our setups. So basically, we would want to see it hit daily res and then come back down to roughly this area and hold support for the final run for the rest of the day up to the top side of the expected move. That's only if bonds can remain strong, which they're not. They're still very, very red. But like if you pull up the TLT, for instance, you can see like you gapped way down. So you're still red. You will be red until you get up to at least yesterday's low, which is there. But it's a 24-hour market to the bonds. It's futures on the bonds, 24-hour market. So technically that would be the low, but on this platform, since this is like an ETF, it only this is going to be considered the low of day. That's going to be the high of day. Or, yeah, that candle right there be the high of day. So as long as you're under that, even if the candle looks green on a daily basis like this, you're still negative. Let's go look at it. See, you're still negative by 1.68%. It's because you closed way down. This is where you closed yesterday. Boom. So you're down good. Walmart. Nice move lower there. Loving that. What a fantastic trade. Walmart is getting absolutely dominated. But it's into daily support. We'll go over here and looking at our positions. You can see P&L up. We're up nicely. That's about max profit. It's not max profit. Obviously, max profit would be when this bar fills completely up. But we're up 75%. All right. So we'll close that for a nice win. I can only make like 150 on it. that was the risk. So, I mean, wait for another $25 or close it now? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself when you're trading. And in my opinion, it's a no-brainer, right? You close it now. Both of them are in profit. It is just moving though. That's nice move to the downside there. Love it. Fantastic stuff, man. Keep going, baby. Push. Reminds me of when I was young. My family used to listen to a police and weather scanner. Your family ain't the only one that used to do that. I guess we can make more because it says now 160, but we're gonna close the trade. We're gonna buy it back and sell that. We're just gonna hit send order, and we're out of that trade. Almost 100% on that one. So we gotta get a trade. We gotta find a trade. All right, so here's the things that Brian was wanting me to look at. I looked at them. If we get a bullish bounce back up to here, we can put on a spread. But this does not have weekly options. What is that ticker? MSCI. I typically don't like to trade anything that does not have weeklies. Also, you have earnings on October the 31st. So you can only trade monthlies on this. And the spread is garbage. Nope. Whenever, like, the farthest widest spread that I'll trade on options is going to be 15 cents. You've got a $4 wide spread there. So definitely not tradable. SMH, which is a semiconductor ETF. This day would have been the absolute perfect day to open that spread. So if we get a retest of 147-ish, we'll put a spread on there. We can't do it today because it's already moving in our favor. Disney, same thing. You need a bullish pop. Got one yesterday. So yesterday maybe, but Disney is it's oversold even though the indicators doesn't say it. It's oversold. I mean, if we can get a retest back up to the 50 on Disney, I would say anywhere between $82 and $85, we'll put a bearish spread back on. But I expect Disney to bounce soon. But according to this, it's trend down. So whenever it's ask like that, just ask down. We leave them alone. But that would be a good one to get in a spread, but it needs to get a little bit higher. And then SC.HW. This is Schwab. This would be a bank in the banking sector. Massively oversold. Can't do anything with that. But if we get a pop in the banks, we will be looking to put on some positions. BAC is already taken out its March low. So, yeah, there was a trade on that up here at 29.33. Would have been a beautiful short, but I can't short it down there. JP Morgan. I think JP Morgan would be the best one to watch. Once again, this day here would have been the best day for the short to be applied, not in hindsight, because of that right there, because of this right here. We would have waited till it found a high of the day and then put the spread on. Put it on from like 148 down to 143. That would have been a $5 wide spread. And if we could have got into it for less than $1.30, then you could have made about $300 on it. But unfortunately, we're looking back. So that would have been the day to put it on. And then there's your move lower. So we just got to wait for that pullback. Couple more green days, and then we'll throw a bear spread on JP Morgan. There's just not much to do right now. Apple, if we get a push back up to 175, we'll put a bear spread on Apple today or Monday. 175, and we will look for a $5 wide spread. Yes, take profit on Walmart for sure, Brian. Absolutely. Amazon, no, don't like it. Google is right back up and made fresh daily highs. So, damn, it looked nice when it was gapping down, Brian. But he's just going to add to it. I can't, because once you get back above the 50 and then come back to the 50 and then retest it and then get a bullish push like that, that no longer puts it in the sell side category for me. Now, can it hold bearishly because of supply up there at 137.42? Yeah, it could. Technically, could we put a spread on this? Yeah, we could, but like I said, the momentum is bullish, not bearish. If we want to put a bearish spread on something, we need bearish momentum. So if we could break down here on Meta, any retest of the 50 in the future would be an opportunity to put on a spread. Or just sell an outright call if you got the buying power. Right? Collecting premium is one of my favorite ways to trade options because you just make money while you sleep. Groupon, that's just bullish, and it just had a fresh breakout of a wedge. That's not bearish. I cannot short it. It just broke out. It hit resistance and pulled back, but it's not a sell. Not for me. You can keep putting it on if you want, but I'm not doing it. Tesla. Yeah, Tesla is right on the border of potentially being a sell. But you can clearly see that there's a trend here. So it might find support here. It's still bullish. It's not bullish today. It gapped down, but it might find support here. But we do know that Tesla missed on inventories or on deliveries. Sorry, on deliveries. And that's probably going to affect their earnings in a couple weeks. So let's wait for that. Because, bearish spreads can hurt you if the asset is not bearish. I like Meta better. If it can break down and get under the 50, come back up for a retest of the 50, then I'll take that trade. We already discussed Google. You're getting your ass handed to you on that one. So, yeah, I'm not short this. I'm not going to short this. It's bullish. It could roll over at supply, but it has to get there first before I would take a chance on it. Right here, you're in no man's land. You're above resistance. You're in between resistance and supply. The moving average has completely sloped back to the upward direction, and same goes for your RSI. If the bonds catch a bid, so will the S&P 500 and so will NASDAQ. But they are struggling to do so here. So it could be a sideways day. Bitcoin is still kind of just, the hourly just closed on Bitcoin, and it was a decent close, but Bitcoin's a hard trade right now because it's slow. Everything's bullish on it as well, as far as on the daily time frame. So you're still bullish on it. You just tested that monthly support. So that's the level to watch for buys if you are bullish on Bitcoin. Make sure you only risk 1 or 2% on the trade. Don't risk a lot of money because you think Bitcoin's about to moon. That's mostly everybody's big mistakes, right? They put on too much leverage, so they got to have a very tight stop loss. And they get stopped out, and then Bitcoin goes on up in their direction. As far as on the daily intraday, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad either. I mean, you're still up on the day 0.37%. If it becomes red and stays red, then I would be concerned. Ethereum's up 1% on the day. But Ethereum is bearish. This would be a short for me on Ethereum. So let's go over here. Morning, baby. Well, that's no good. All right, damn it. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna set this trade up for you guys. Damn, we're probably gonna miss it. But 1641.49. I don't remember what that is. Let's go see what that level is before we just put the trade on there. No, there's monthly support. All right, so 1645.58. You haven't retested it yet. You got an old level right here. You could watch old level of resistance. That would get you down at 1643.55. You could look for the short, but I do like the short on Ethereum. Now, keep in mind that just because I like it, it doesn't mean it's going to work. Because one could make an argument here that you got an inverse head and shoulders. It's an ugly inverse head and shoulders, but one could make the argument for it. So if you close it daily above yesterday's open, which is right here, if you close today above that, then leave the short alone. But as long as you cannot close hourlies above 1646.85, then I like Ethereum lower based on the setup we currently have. I take this trade every single time. Every single time. They don't always work, but they work quite often. But like I said, we've already missed our entry. Our entry is going to be 1645.43. So if you set that up today, set your limit 1645 spot 53. You would want to get your stop above yesterday's high. So 1657.12. And that's the way I'm setting the trade up for myself as well. All right. So that's on cryptos pretty much taken care of. Forex, I'm already in multiple positions. I got a USD JPY short that I've had on for a long time. And it's probably going to get stopped out. I shorted it on this wick right here back last year in October. And it's just been on ever since. I took profits on the way down multiple times on it. So it's just unrealized P&L that I'm risking on that trade. I would not open a fresh short on USD JPY. No, because this move, like I said, if not done by the BOJ, it will get bought up. MPW, I wish you would ask in the YouTube chat, my friend, because the blurts, since you're DMing me, come through. No, I would not get long this. No way in hell would I get long this. This has so much momentum to the downside. It's like, I mean, to be fair, your measured move is pretty much done with. So maybe if it holds support at 494, maybe I would do like a scalp trade on it. But if it even closed 1 hourly under that, I would leave it. Right there, 495. This thing has massive bearish momentum. But anyways, I'm long USD Swiss franc. We got long down in here on a live stream a while back. Short pound dollar up there. Short Aussie dollar up there. And then that USD JPY short. So that's the one trade that's definitely working against me. I do not believe BOJ intervened yesterday. I think that was just a run above the stops at 150, and it triggered a lot of stop losses, and that's why you got a huge move. But with the carry trade being so, big, I mean, you got a 5.50 or 5.60 percent deficit for the interest rates. So people are just going to get long USD JPY, even if it goes sideways, to collect the carry trade. 5% is attractive to people that are trading with billions of dollars. So we need a stock. We need a stock, man. Let's go see if we got any movers. Don't want to short something that's already lost 33%. Yeah, this thing is done. Also, another thing, keep in mind, Brian, that $5 is the limit for a lot of big firms, investment firms, funds, money managers, anything like that. So when you're looking at a stock and it's trading under $5, that means those funds have to kick it loose, right? Because once it's under $5, it's considered a penny stock. And a fund is, most of your money managers out there will not hold a stock if it breaks $5. Okay. So once it breaks $5, you will get a lot of selling pressure happening from funds just getting rid of it. Also, if it was in an ETF, if it loses $5, it's getting kicked out of the ETF. I mean, once you lose $5 on a stock, it's done. It's done. Air Test Systems. This one might be a short if it has weeklies. It does not. It only has the monthlies. Let's check the spreads. Spreads are too wide. Can't trade that. Okio is a $2 stock. No, $8. Definitely no. Damn. Yeah, this thing is halted probably. Let me see if there's any like. No, there's nothing there. Penny stock traders must be hating life right now. Because there's nothing on this list that would even be considered tradable. But I'm sure something will pop up on the scan today. But I don't do much of that anymore. It's too hard to manage risk on penny stock trading. Because you're just buying a breakout. That's what you're doing, right? Every 1 minute high or 5 minute high, you got to bid, or you just get your order in up there, sitting on the ask, waiting for it to make a new 1 minute high, and then it does, and then it dumps 50% in 1 minute. I've seen it happen. There goes your whole account with one stupid trade. But this is only up 18%, and this thing is it's up more than anything. That's probably because the market's bearish. Here's the market watch. Yeah, you're almost correlated to the downside. 90 and 10 whenever you hit 90 declining stocks versus 10 advancing stocks in the S&P 100. That's the 100 largest stocks by market cap in the S&P 500. When it's like that, you can pretty much just consider it's going to be a downtrending day. You know what I mean? Anybody got anything? Disney just took out a yearly low. Yeah, so when that happens, it's very hard for me to want to sell anything. And thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. It's for everybody else. I know when I was in live streams and stuff, I hated hearing Discord bongs going off. But I don't have Discord bongs unless you at me or if you DM me. That alerts me, because I don't always have it pulled up. I need like 3 other monitors to monitor everything I monitor. We don't have any positions. Yeah, this thing, I can't short it down here because this is the low day expected move. So we'll just wait and see. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a downtrending day. It's just hard for me to short it when I know that this move is priced in already, right? This was the expected move, and it has been priced in as the expected move. So looking for anything other than that is like you're just asking for trouble, right? Asking for trouble. You're expecting a breakdown at that point. And expecting a breakdown is not something I do. We trade within the range, right? Within the options market expected move. Because the options market is pretty effective in pricing and risk. But they do miss, right? They do miss. Here is a chart right here that shows you SPX, it hasn't breached the lower edge of the weekly expected move yet, but the weekly expected move, that's not correct. I have the correct weekly expected move right here. You can see we're right above it. The red line right here is the weekly expected move for the options market for this week. And we pretty much traded down near the edge of it all week. All right. So, I mean, it does look like a breakout or a breakdown is coming, but to trade something at support, you don't short at support. It's just a habit, and it's a bad habit. Don't short at support. PXD, was this a buyout? Doesn't look like a buyout. They didn't have earnings or nothing, just a massive gap up. Must have been some good news. Some really good news on that bad boy. APLS. I don't like trading pharmaceuticals and stuff because they can have massive moves both ways. And a lot of them don't have weeklies. We'll go check if this one does. APLS. Yes, it does have weeklies. But it's got too wide of spreads. 15 cents is as wide as I'll go on a spread. You can see how on the bid, you got 3.90. On the ask, you got 4.10. So if you buy this and pay 4.10 for it and then want to get out of it instantly, you're already losing 30 cents or 20 cents on the trade. So I don't go, and I always trade in the middle, right? I try to get filled closer. If I'm selling calls, I try, or puts, I try to get as close to this number as I can get, but it doesn't always get filled. So, but if you go in the middle, at the midpoint, you'll get filled in a lot of cases if it's got liquidity. This doesn't have liquidity. Technically it doesn't meet my criteria as a sell just yet, but damn is it close. So I guess what we could do is, no, the spreads are too wide. I just got done telling you guys that. I can't trade that. This I will not trade because it's breaking out. If it breaks back under the 50 on the RSI and retests it, then maybe. And that's all we got there. Come on. And then you're going to have your usual volume gainers. Mara was a phenomenal sell. We took it on this day here. Bitcoin had already priced this move out. And it only took 2 or 3 days before we were in profits on that. Coca-Cola is getting absolutely wrecked, and I don't know why. But I can't take this trade, obviously. It is massively oversold. I know oversold can stay oversold longer than you can stay solvent. I've heard the saying a million times, but I won't take a short when something is this badly oversold because you're just asking for it to rip your face off when it rallies, and it will rally. Nothing goes straight down forever unless the stock or the company claim bankruptcy. AMC not doing good. Ooh, Chevron, Exxon, sorry, not Chevron, but look at that, man. Oil just, what happened to oil? What does the XLE look like? Too bad, too late. Should have sold that. Man, you go from kicking everybody's ass and making people afraid of inflation, and then you drop massively. I'm thinking government intervention. What's Google doing now? Man, I hate to take a Tilray. I remember when this thing was trading for like $380. Everybody was jumping on that trade. Everybody. So many people got smoked trying to short this thing. I made a lot of money on this stock when it blowed up. That and CGC. They're probably nothings now. They are nothings now. This thing's trading for less than $1. Lucid, too cheap. Rivian, do they have weeklies? It's cheap, so if it does, oh, you bastard. Blackout for a split second. All right, and we're back. No options for Rivian. Yeah, if you guys know something, if you have a trade you want me to check it out, throw it in there, because like that's what I want to do. I want to find a trade that we can take together on the stream. We're running late. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Something that is set up to where like it's not breaking down or breaking out. I want something either retesting the 50 from the underneath side or retesting the 50 from the above side. And the 50, I mean the 50 on the RSI. This indicator is the yellow indicator is a 21 exponential moving average. So anything trading around that and around the 50 is what I'm looking for. But preferably something in a downtrend and retesting the up underneath side. I don't have a scan set up for that. I need to set one up for it. I do have a bunch of other scans. 80% IV scan. Let's check that. AMD, Mara, MU, NVIDIA. Why is AMD got such high implied vol? So this would be a perfect one to do, but that's on the weekly. So I tried to short this the other day and it was a failed trade. I closed it out yesterday for a loss. Not yesterday, but this day right here. Closed it out for a loss. It looks like it's trying to break out. So if this one fails, because on the weekly it's a perfect short. All right. It's a perfect short setup. The problem is that bullish engulfing right there. This current week, it had to move down first, and it's closing bullish. So if it closes above last week's close, then that means you have bullish continuation, and that puts the chance of breakout much more on. It puts that, like, the probabilities of it breaking out are a lot higher. Now, you are still trading inside last week's candle, but last week's candle was a bullish engulfing. And, like, one could argue this is in an uptrend. Right there, right? A lot of big time investors will buy the weekly 50. They'll buy the weekly 50, and it looks like they did. So I don't necessarily want to short it, and I definitely don't want to trade it for the breakout. So I'll give it another day or two. It might just want to make a run above this high here and then settle down. If that happens, then I'll just buy an outright put on it and see how it goes. Well, no, we'll do a put spread. This moves way too much to just hold a put. We can go out 28 days. Oh, and the put spread will be cheap. We could go $3 wide. Let's see what that would look like. Sell the 106. No. Buy. Buy. Buy the 106. Sell the 103. Nope. It doesn't. It's 1-to-1 at best. So let's go down to $5. 101. Still 1-to-1 at best. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just buy a put. Today it's got 74% implied volatility. Those people and their options, 0 date expiry options. So let's just see something. Yeah, it'd be way too much risk. But if it stalls out, that'll expire worthless. But I'm not risking $500 to try to make 50 on a 0 days to expiration. BFA, Brown Forman, parent company, Old Forester, Woodford, Jack Daniels. Is it got a dash in it, or is it just BFA? Yeah, I don't see that. Let's just write Jack Daniels and see what happens. Nothing. Yeah, I don't get the BF.A. And BFA is nothing. Nothing. Yeah, sorry, I'm not finding anything. Brown Forman. So maybe just BF. No, it's Brent Few. Brown. Why did I type in Brent? Brown and Brown. Oh, these are all Londons. I don't see anything in America. Oh, it's .A. BF.A. Gotcha. Yeah, it's getting killed. It's getting wrecked. Let's see if it's out of support. Not really. I mean, that's a stretch. It is, I mean, it is technically a 2-week support. Ooh, it's right at that old yearly close. So you got 2017 close. All right, so what I would do, I mean, I don't like it. It doesn't fit my category. I don't even know if I can BF.A. There are no options available, so I can't do anything with this thing. But if you want to be a buyer of it, if that's why you asked for me to pull it up for you, this is an area that I would watch. It is. It's old yearly resistance. You're massively oversold. Wait for that bullish div to print. I would rather have bullish divergence print on the weekly, but I know ain't nobody got enough patience to wait for that. But you technically will have it today. You will have bullish div. All right. That's about the only thing that I can give you on this. Technically, you're at a big level and you got bullish divergence happening on the daily time frame. Massively oversold. So is it a company worth buying? I mean, obviously one would arguably you would say, yeah, because alcoholics are going to alcohol, right? But it's been a choppy stock for a few years. There's your 2020 pandemic, and then you made all-time highs, and then you just kind of chop sideways. So, I mean, if I was gonna buy it, I would wait for support to hold, or I would just buy it outright and throw it in a portfolio somewhere, and then say I'll cut it if, say, shares get down to $52. Right? And you'll lose $4 per share, which isn't bad as long as you don't have leverage on it. But it is at 2017 yearly resistance. So it could bounce from here. It definitely could bounce from here. Does it have intraday volume? Probably not. Nope, it does not. This is not being traded. Very thin. Very thin. Yeah, it's not something that I like. I like liquid stocks. But it may hold here. Goog short. I know, you've told me that 18 times today alone. I don't want to short it, dude. It's moving up. It's bullish. You're above the 21. 137.42. If it gets there and rejects, then we'll put a bearish spread on it. But I mean, Goog and Goog L are the same damn thing, right? There's no difference. It's the same thing. Same thing. There's your supply on Goog. And then Goog L. It's Alphabet. One's Google, one's Alphabet. But they're both Google. It's the same stock. But it's just I mean it's the most bullish of the tech stocks right now. Right? It's reclaimed most of its losses. And it never did take out August's low. So you don't have a lower low. You don't have anything that is comparative of saying that this is in a downtrend or going to be potentially, right? If we had taken out August's low, then maybe, yeah. Because if we go and look at the rest of them, Apple, August's low, boom. So what do you have? You have a lower high and a lower low, right? So you do have a downtrend on your hands with Apple. Amazon, August's low, right there. Boom, down. Higher high, and then straight down. Amazon pulls back to 129 or 131. I like it for a short. Meta, August low, not taking it out. So Meta and Goog are both like the two strongest tech stocks right now. I mean, inherently, compared to everything else. Microsoft, August's low, taken out. Lower highs, yep. Lower low, yep. Check. So is this something we could short? It meets my criteria. It's into resistance right now. Yes. We could put a bearish put spread on Microsoft. Let's check the TLT real quick. Right quick. It's getting bullish. Freaking NASDAQ has already priced out that bearish move. That entire candle's been priced out of NASDAQ. My God. My God. So it looks like the support, I should have held it long, but you never know. I actually would have been stopped out with this wick low right there, so it wouldn't have mattered. Because remember, we bought it on this candle right here. That's when I bought it. So I would have got stopped out right there, regardless. So we could sell a put. Let's say, what do the 4100 puts look like? MES. Let's go look at what the 4100 puts look like for next week. We can go out 3 days. 41s. No, they're not going to be worth nothing hardly. 42.55. Oh my God, no way in hell. That's way too damn close. All right. So we would have to go like all the way up here. just to make 35 bucks in 3 days. No, thank you. No, thank you. We could go longer term and sell puts, but we could go to a 9 delta right here. No. Look at those spreads. No, no, no. Not just no, but hell no. That's a little better. 38.50. That puts you right there. That's really, really close. But we're just looking like if we get an up move that lasts for a couple days, then those puts will pay us. Yeah, $205. One or more futures contracts have less than ideal bid. Yeah, I see that. It's bouncing all over the freaking place. It's $1.75 wide, but there's 660 or 652 other people that's done the same trade. So we'll sell this put and see if we get a fill on the midpoint, which would be 41 or 40 $40.50, and we'll close it because you don't get pattern day traded on this. It's a futures contract. It's got options on futures, so you can trade this 875 times in one day if you want. That doesn't make sense to me. You can only trade stocks 3 times with an account smaller than $25,000. In, out, in, out, in, out. That's it. Done for a 5-day rolling period. You get one reset on this if you accidentally go over. I did. I accidentally went over. I hit 4. They told me not to do it no more. I said, touche. I won't. I just got filled on that. And I better not have got filled at $16. No, I did not. I got filled at 41. Wow. I got filled on the ask. It was 40, 41.50. Okay, so I got filled closer on the ask. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, we got one position. Microsoft. MSFT. Now, this is bullish. Oh, shit. It's got earnings. Damn it. I don't like doing put spreads this close because it's you got a long put and a short put. The long put will lose money each day that goes by. Even if Microsoft stops going up where it is, finds resistance, and rolls over, we will still lose money based on the fact of theta. But I guess technically if we break out and start closing hourlies above 321.80, all right, so that's what we'll do. We'll give this time today, and then we'll wrap this stream up. We'll give this one time. Microsoft, if we start closing hourlies above 321.89, we're going to leave it alone. All right, because then it might be going on up to 324. This thing moves quick. That's a $4 move right there, and that's nothing. Right? Microsoft can do that easily. So if it fails to close hourlies above 321.89, we'll put on a bearish put spread, but it'll be, we can go out further in time and do it. Right here, the IV is 29, right? So we can do the 49s, but we got to close the trade before earnings. Because if they beat and the stock gaps way up, then you're going to lose money on the spread. So let's go put it on out there at 42 days. And let's see if we can do an in-out spread. It's a $5 wide spread. You want to buy the in the money. It's important that you understand me right now. You want to buy the in the money. Do not sell the in the money. Now, it's not likely that if you were to accidentally sell the out in the money that you would be instantly exercised, because there's a lot of time still left in the option. All right. But you could instantly get exercised. And that means you would have to buy 325 shares of Microsoft and turn around and give them away. All right, so you don't want to do that. So you buy the in the money strike, and then you sell the out of the money strike. It's not really the best trade setup. That means we're risking 227 for a potential profit of 270. Not the best trade in the world. Let's try 415. Nah, that's too much. Yeah, I don't like it. I try to get this under $1.50. If I can't get it under $1.50, then I don't like it. There's reasons for that. It's just, I have my reasons. Damn it. All right, so let's go up and a little bit closer. We're going to get killed on that premium, though. Let's check the 31.95s. They're still $5 wide. Damn it. Buy, sell, 225, 275. Same exact thing. So can't really do anything on Microsoft, I guess. 1 days. Oh, $5 wide, 21 days out. You got to be kidding me. Almost identical. 268, 232. The closer we get, the worse it's going to get. I mean, right here. There we go. Now we got $2.50 wide spreads. So buy, sell, and it's still not good. Let's just set it up on the call side and just see if it's any better. Buy, sell. No, it's worse. Risk to reward is worse to do the call side. It's just, it doesn't give me what I want. I mean, this trade right here, you're risking $107 for a potential to make 143. That's a 1.5 to 1 almost. It's almost a 1.5 to 1. And the bad thing is this long option's going to lose money from time decay because we're already in that window. So this thing would literally need to roll over to like 312 in the next 4 or 5 days tops to make money. So I like the setup, but I don't like the premiums. It's because earnings is so close. That's why. It's got the implied volatility all screwed up. All screwed up. when you say you don't want to risk 500 to make 50, don't you set a stop loss? Yes, you can, John. Absolutely. Yeah. But the problem is and what I was doing there is I was selling 10 and buying 10, right? For 0 days to expiration, saying that I believe that Meta or whatever it was that I was looking at, AMD, couldn't go higher than that. So technically, yes, I could set a stop loss. That was AMD, not Microsoft. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just trying to capitalize on that 76% implied vol. Right? We go see, look at AMD. Is it stretched out? Has it already made a big move on the day? If the answer is yes, and it has, it's literally broken out. So, I mean, could it reach 107? Yeah. But in order to make any money, I was trying to get like out here and seeing how it's 5 cents. You would have to sell 10 of them to make anything, right? On the day. So max profits $50, max loss $9.50. So if I do set my stop loss at $50, it'll probably get stopped out in 10 minutes if it continues to go up. You get what I'm saying? Like each dollar it moves up. Right now it's at 105.37. Since I'm selling and buying 10 contracts, you multiply that move by 10. You see what I'm saying? So literally, like, it wouldn't even have to move $1. It could just move 40 cents and I would get stopped out. So it would probably be better to do something like that. It would be more risk, but you have more options to do it on. Would be the spiders. Right? Because this is the expected move on the SPY today. Right there. So we could, in theory, sell this and buy that. And then only need to do 5 of them to make that $50. And that puts us outside the expected range to the upside. And all we're counting on is them both to expire worthless. Right? Because we're going to receive a credit of 50 cents if they expire worthless. But it goes the same way. Since I'm doing 5 of them, to set a stop loss at $50, I can't really do the math on it. It wouldn't even need to be a whole dollar move. Like a $1 move would. So what they're saying literally is if the S&P, if the SPY goes up to 428 today, I'm going to lose 460. You see what I'm saying? What I need for the SPY to do with the whole purpose of doing 0 days to expiration options is you don't think it's going to go there. Now, what we could do is also we could go out of the money here on the put side. We could sell that, buy that. And that actually makes us in better shape. As now we're only risking $375 for a potential max profit of $110, and that would be today. But what we need the SPY to do for the rest of today is do that, right? It needs to stay away from 427 and it needs to stay away from 421. Let's go look at it. So I believe our 421 would be okay as you're making that bullish push. What was the other one? 427? Yeah. It could get up there. It could definitely get up there. And today's a high volatility day. So literally, let's see what it looks like if we go 2 strikes out on both ends. Yeah, it brings us max loss right back up to 430, max profit 80. But what like I said, what we are counting on is for the SPY to stay above 421 and stay below 428. If it closes the day out at 427.50, you will make the $75. If it closes the day out at 421.50, you will make the $75. And it only requires $425 of buying power, but that's your max loss. So we've made $138 today, but the account was up to $1,200 2 days ago. So we have lost some of our unrealized P&L. I mean, our year-to-date P&L. We've lost some of it. So we're kind of down. And this is a risky trade. But we could put it on and try our luck with 0-day expiration options. Let's finish this conversation in the Discord. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading, everybody.